What's up, guys? It's your boy Barca Boy 103. Today we're gonna be doing the match preview for Real Betis versus Barcelona in La Liga. It is the final match for Barcelona for the halfway point of the season, where they have faced every single team at least once, and the final one is a difficult one, where again Barcelona are continuing their charge to try and win their first La Liga title since 2019. Before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Kickoff time for this match will be taking place at 9 p.m. local time, so regular kickoff time in La Liga, and this match will be taking place at the Benito Villamarín, which is one of the most difficult away grounds to go to in La Liga. And the referee for this match has also been confirmed. On the pitch it will be Ricardo de Borges, and the VAR it will be Jaime Later. Let's start off by taking a look at the league table, where Barcelona currently sit 5 points clear at the top of La Liga on 47 points. After playing 18 matches, we have 15 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. Look at our last 5 games in the league: 4 wins and 1 draw. Second place, Real Madrid on 42 points. After playing 18 matches, they have 13 wins, 3 draws, and 2 losses. Now, as you can see, Real Madrid and Barcelona have both played 18 matches, compared to Real Sociedad and Atletico Madrid, who have 19 matches. This is where Barcelona and Real Madrid play their game in hand. Of course, we faced Betis in the Super Cup, and this match was postponed for that event. So of course, Real Madrid in the semi-final of the Spanish Super Cup face Valencia, and they'll be facing the Valencia on Thursday. That's going to be the next match where they play their game in hand. So only 2 midweek games this week in La Liga, and that's Barcelona and Real Madrid, the 2 teams at the top of the table. But right now, Barcelona, it is looking good after Real Madrid dropped points over the past weekend against Real Sociedad. It's still not as comfortable. I think once we get like a 7 to 8 point cushion, you have room for error. There is, I think now, we can have a sense of calmness if we draw a game. But I think losing a game is still catastrophic to this league title race. Barcelona have to continue their momentum 100%, and there's only now Real Betis standing in their way. If we do end up winning this game, we would have 50 points at the halfway point of the season, which means if we repeat what we did exactly, we would finish on 100 points, which of course is the record. So we're on a fantastic run, and hopefully we can continue that momentum. Now, if you take a look at our opponents in Real Betis and where they're currently standing in the league table, they are currently sat in 6th place in La Liga on 31 points. After playing 18 matches, they have 9 wins, 4 draws, and 5 losses. You look at their last 5 games in the league: 2 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. So they are kind of, dipping form, going up and down a lot in the league. They are, of course, in the Europa League conference position, and they are 17 points behind first place, of course, Barcelona. Let's now take a look at our opponents in Real Betis, one of the best teams in the first division of Spain. Of course, they have great history. They have a great team as well. Now, last time we actually faced them was, of course, in the Spanish Super Cup, where this match is going to be taking place tomorrow, was postponed. The game, of course, ended 2-2 in 120 minutes, went to penalties, and Barcelona secured the victory 4-2 on penalties. This match, of course, only happened a few weeks ago. We all know how close this game was, how difficult it was as well. The formation also on the right hand side of the plane that we played, we did go with traditional 4-3-3 with that beautiful midfield that we hopefully get to see again soon. Front 3 with actual wingers and a striker, and a proper back 4 with, of course, Roberto and Jordi Alba, the 2 backup fullbacks, playing in this match. Again, it was difficult. We did power through it. We had some great moments in the match, some terrible moments, but in the end we end up winning the Super Cup and the entire tournament as a whole. Now, if you take a look at Real Betis' last 5 matches in all competition, and the last match they beat Getafe 1-0. They lost to Espanyol 1-0. They were knocked out of the Copa del Rey in the round 16 by Osasuna on penalties. Of course, lost to us on penalties in the Super Cup, and beat Rayo Vallecano 2-1. So since our game against them in the Super Cup, they've only played 3 games. So let's take a look quickly at those 3 games. Firstly, another, exact cover copy of the Barcelona game. They draw 2-2 in the Copa del Rey in 120 minutes and lose on penalties 4-2. So in the span of a week, Real Betis played 2 matches, 120 minutes, 2-2, and lost both on penalties 4-2. Now, I did end up watching the majority of this match because it went into extra time. It was a very even game, especially with the Real Betis being at home. You expect them to be the better team with the atmosphere around them, but they were just so poor in that final third of their own pitch. You see there, Sergio Canales didn't have a good game. Neither Rodrigo Sanchez or Luis Henrique. It's like when they build up the play and they got to the final third, they were absolutely clueless, and in the end, their lack of awareness in the final third cost them in the cup, and they were eliminated. The next match was in the league, where they did lose 1-0 to Espanyol, with former Barcelona player Martin Braithwaite getting the only goal in this match. I think Betis had a better game here. They did play well. They had some good attacking prowess. They were going linking up very well in the midfield to the defense. Watched the highlights of this game, but again, just in the final third, no connectivity with them whatsoever, and they end up losing this match 1-0. And finally, their last game of the past weekend was a 1-0 victory against Getafe, with Borja Iglesias scoring in the 86th minute via penalty to secure their first 3 points in a while. They were the dominant team in this match. Of course, Getafe, we all know they're a poor team, but against the lesser, bigger teams at home, they tend to go for it. But in this match, Betis did play well, but again, same story, lack of finishing in the final third. Defense was very strong, midfield was very strong as well, but again, up front, they were lacking criticality. They got the penalty, and they scored it and secured their first 3 points in a while. Now, on the screen right now is the lineup that I believe that Manuel Pelligrini will select for this match. We are expecting, of course, a 4-2-3-1. Rui Silva in goal. Of course, Bravo is the cup goalkeeper, second choice goalkeeper. Sabali at right back with Juan Miranda at the left back. He could bring in Arturo Rubial at right back as well. That is an option, with Luis Felipe and Pizzella as a center back partnership. Double pivot of Rodriguez and William Carvalho, with Fekir at the number 10. On the right hand side, Luis Henrique. On the left, Sergio Canales, and the striker up top, Borja Iglesias. I can see him making a change on that left-hand side. He could start Guardado, the Mexican midfielder, maybe another winger as well. Maybe he could start Juanmi, but I think he will go with that midfield forward, you could say, to match the potential midfield forward that Barcelona will play. I think we'll see a very similar lineup to the list, maybe barring 1 or 2 players at the absolute most. So overall, final thoughts on Real Betis. Without a shadow of a doubt, they're a very strong team on paper, and they're very well managed by their manager Manuel Pelligrini. Very experienced. Of course, won the league with Man City. He's coached Real Madrid as well. He's very experienced. But over the past few weeks, you could say Betis have not been at their best form. They've lacked clinicality, of course, in the final third. They've been playing well in the sense that they're build up from the defense to the midfield, but in those last few moments, they haven't been that great. But the question does remain whether or not they will improve in this match, because at any given moment, they could start finishing, and then they're going to be the team that we all know that they are. And in terms of play to look out for, the one main player I have to highlight, of course, is probably their best player, their number 8, Nabil Fekir, who is absolutely brilliant. When we play them in the cup, of course, the Super Cup, should I say, in Saudi Arabia, he was absolutely on fire. I would also watch out for Luis Henrique, their winger. He's very fast, very tricky. They have a decent defense as well, and of course, Borja Iglesias, their striker, is very clinical. My one main thing I would suggest for Barcelona in this match is, it's a bit cliche, but don't give them any chances, because if you minimize their chances, they only not really that clinical at the moment. They're only firing 1 goal in their past few games. So if you just, minimize their chances, they'll have to capitalize on those little chances that they get, which is very difficult. But in their stadium, Benito Villamarín, it will be difficult to keep them too quiet. So again, you get to look for that midfield battle. You have William Carvalho, Rodriguez, Fekir, and we can just outmuscle them, get those man-to-man marking, and also control the tempo very well. This should be comfortable for Barcelona. But again, Betis at home is always a very dangerous team. Now, in terms of the squad list for the match tomorrow against Real Betis, it will be released later on today. It has not been released as I'm uploading this video, but of course Dembele will be out, Bellerin will be out, as he will be sold in the next 24 hours. Alacantron should be in it from the B team. Other than that, there won't be any other changes to expect, but there are 4 first team players who are 1 yellow card away from suspension that we have to keep an eye on. Of course, now we're at the halfway point of the season, so yellow card suspensions are absolutely crucial. Those 4 players are Araujo, Busquets, Dembele, and bloody Xavi himself. All 4, of course, Dembele, don't have to worry about him for now, but Busquets, Araujo, and Xavi are all 1 yellow card away from suspension. If they get a yellow card in this match, they will not be available for the match this weekend. Time now to get into Xavi's press conference reaction. This press conference this morning, of course, he was asked a lot of questions from the media, not about this game whatsoever, but about the final 12 hours of the Mercado. Let's go and see what he had to say about the transfer window and a little bit about the match as well against Betis. He came out saying, starting starting off by saying the match against Betis is important. Pelligrini is a manager who changes his tactics often. He has many talented players in his team who can make a difference, but tomorrow it will be very important to keep possession and continue attacking. Betis can be complicated things for us. It is a very difficult match. Then Xavi was asked, of course, about the final 12 hours of the transfer window and if Barcelona will sign anyone. He said that we depend on financial fair play, of course. Perhaps Bellerin will leave. He has requested to leave this morning with the departure of Piqué, Memphis, and Bellerin, and an incorporation would be very good for us, but we don't know for what position. But our priority is to secure the important players like Gavi. We want him to stay, and I don't see him changing any heirs. Honestly, I see him very happy here, happy with the fact that the court has agreed with us, which allows us to register him. So Barcelona have went to court against La Liga to register Gavi. They have won, so in the next 12 hours, Gavi should be registered as a first-team player and could even wear the number 6 tomorrow at the Benito Villamarín. In Barcelona's official statement, which they have released about 20 minutes ago, they said they want to register him as soon as possible, because if they don't register him by the end of this transfer window, Gavi has the option to leave the club for free in the summer. Will he do it or not is the question, but the option is there, and Barcelona want to prevent it. But no doubt Gavi will be renewed. But there's no doubt now that Gavi will be registered as a first-team player today, and Xavi did confirm in the press conference that that was Barcelona's priority throughout the entire transfer window. But over the past 12 hours, we've been heavily linked with Sofiane Amrabat, and how Barcelona want to sign him on loan with the buy option. We had our first bid rejected a few hours ago. Xavi was asked about Amrabat, said that Amrabat seems like a good footballer to me, but I can't speak about him. I'm very happy with the squad, and even if no one else arrives. So Xavi again stating, with the departure of Piqué, Memphis, and Bellerin, if no one comes in, he will be happy. He said that Xavi said that he only wants someone to come in that will improve the squad, not like a panic buy just to bring someone in just for the sake of it. He wants a good quality player. If we can get that, great. If not, no problem whatsoever. He's then asked about the renewals of Gavi, Araujo, and Alejandro Balde, of course, the actual renewals and being officially registered with La Liga. And I'm not worried about the continuation of any of those 3 players. There's a lot of talk about the market, but tomorrow we have a game and we have to put number 2 at 8 points. He wants to have that 8-point deficit, of course, against Real Madrid. Then he was asked about Raphinha, saying that Raphinha will be very important for us. I have confidence in him. And now, in principle, no arrival is scheduled to come into Barcelona. The only news we have at this time is the departure of Bellerin, which he has requested for this morning. He's then asked about Lamine Yamal, who did train with the first team this morning, and whether or not he could be included in the squad list. So we want to see him training because we were missing a few players, but still early, and we won't be climbing up for the match tomorrow. Then asked about Ousmane Dembele's injuries, and Dembele's loss is a significant one. He was contributing a lot, but together we'll try to not make it noticeable. He was asked how long he'd be out for. Xavi said he doesn't know. It's like Araujo's previous injury. It all depends on his recovery, and then that will mark, of course, his availability. He was then asked about Ansu Fati's recent performances, saying that Ansu had to play very difficult games against very difficult defensive opponents with the great central defenders. The other day against Girona, he played a great game in my opinion. Then asked about Pablo Torre's situation, saying that nothing has changed with Pablo Torre. He's a first team player, and the possibility of going down to the reserves when he's not playing is still open, but I don't want him to go out on loan. I think I will need him later on in the season. Very interesting. I think in the last 6 games we have played very well, especially in the last 4 games where we won and 2 of them where we didn't. To give examples, I think in the game against Espanyol we played very well, but we drew. The game against Girona we didn't play that well, but we won 1-0. And lastly, Xavi concluded all by saying that we're good in attacking high and in pressing after losing the ball. We are amazing, and our defensive line is also great as well. There are things to do well, but we are the first to be self-critical and know we have to improve on many different aspects. And that concluded Xavi's press conference reaction ahead of the match against Real Betis tomorrow. Let's now get into the lineup prediction. We're going to start with the manager, of course, Xavi Hernandez. I'm going to try my best for this lineup, and this should be very easy to predict. Of course, we did have some rotation over the past weekend against Girona, and this is, of course, a very, very big and important match. I do think Xavi will go with this lineup on the screen right now. I think he'll go with Ter Stegen in goal, a back 4 of Kounde, Araujo, Christensen, Alejandro Balde, midfield 3 of Busquets, De Jong, and Pedri, and a front 3 of Raphinha, Lewandowski, and Pablo Gavi. You could say this is the league team. This is our Gala 11, barring, of course, the injury of Ousmane Dembele, where Gavi does come in to replace him. You could see maybe Varane, you could see Ansu, and then maybe Gavi dropping to the midfield, and maybe Busquets dropping out, having that, tenacity and strong midfield that we had in the Super Cup. But in the Super Cup, of course, we had, Roberto and Jordi Alba sitting in the fullback positions. Now we have Kounde and Alejandro Balde. So, again, there's a very, very important stat. As this back 5 together, Ter Stegen, Kounde, Araujo, Christensen, Alejandro Balde, when they're all playing together, Barcelona have never ever conceded a goal. So that's going to be very, very big. Hopefully that will continue. Midfield 3, of course, set in stone, barring, of course, Gavi dropping in there if Xavi does go with the forward. But as we all know, like I talked about in the last transfer video, Xavi is planning at the moment to have a midfield 4 and having Raphinha and Lewandowski as the 2 main forwards with the injury of Ousmane Dembele. I think in this match it would be better to go with 2 natural wingers, but I think Xavi will go with Gavi as that false winger, and that's something that Xavi Hernandez will select for this match. But of course, let me know in the comments below what you think Xavi will go with. Now I'm going to show you guys my lineup, what I would do if I was the Barcelona coach, and I have only made one change from Xavi's lineup, and that is I brought in Ansu Fati for Sergio Busquets, putting Ansu Fati on the left wing and bringing Gavi to the midfield, having that midfield 3 of De Jong, Gavi, and Pedri. Now, back 5, of course, set in stone. Don't need to talk about that. 0 goals conceded. Enough said. I think going with the winger in this match is the right move, in my opinion. Based on, my ball knowledge, you could say. I think with Betis having to go for it, being at home, and when they're playing the 4-2-3-1, especially they have a midfielder on the left-hand side, there is that vulnerability. I expect a huge game from Raphinha. He needs to perform. But I am more worried about Busquets. Yes, Busquets has been on fantastic form recently. He played well against Sociedad, played well in the Copa final, Super Cup against Real Madrid. But I just think, a big away game in La Liga, he just scares me. I'm going to be completely honest. I have bottled it beyond belief. I have dropped the captain, but that's the risk that I'm going with as the manager. If I was a manager, of course, thank God I'm not the manager, because we maybe could be doing worse or we could be doing better. We'll have to wait and see. But that's the line that I would select for this match. But of course, let me know in the comments below. Would you rather pick my lineup or Xavi's lineup? Time now for my score prediction. What do I believe the result will be in this match? Ladies and gentlemen, I have balled it and I've gone with a 1-1, 0-0, maybe 2-2 draw. I think, the run is just too good. I pray to God we win. I do have confidence in this team winning, but I think the atmosphere the team are coming up against after playing so many games week in, week out, I think our time has come to drop points. Hopefully it doesn't, but if I were to place my bet, I think this would be the time when we do drop points. I just see this game coming too early. We just played against Barcelona on Sunday. It's, Tuesday now. We're already getting ready for another game. We're traveling again away for a very, very difficult stadium, Benito Villamarín. Although we have done there quite well there over the past few years. Of course, last year we only won by a last-second goal by Jordi Alba to qualify for the Champions League. So it's not easy whatsoever. I am going to go with my brain and say a draw as my prediction, but my heart's telling me we're going to win. My heart's telling me we're going to pull it out. That midfield 3 of De Jong, Gavi, Pedri, maybe even Busquets if he starts will turn up that strong defense, and hopefully Raphinha has a great game. I think our positive result in this match will depend on, Raphinha playing well, because if he doesn't play well, we're not going to have an attacking outlet, and it's all going to be out to Lewandowski, and then who knows if he can carry us or not. But overall, I am optimistic. I do think we can win. I do think there's a higher chance of us winning than Betis winning, but I think in the end, the match will end in a draw. But of course, let me know your score predictions down in the comments below. So that was my match preview for Real Betis versus Barcelona in La Liga. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. But the main thing I want to know firstly, of course, is your score prediction, and secondly, on those lineups. Firstly, would you rather pick my lineup or Xavi's lineup? What do you think Xavi would go with? What would you go with, you the manager? Leave me all your thoughts down below, and of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below as well if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the live watch along. Set the reminder on the screen and come and join me and watch the game with me. Follow for the match by match review. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Big game ahead, big stadium, big atmosphere, and a big moment for these players, and hopefully they can get the job over the line. Take care, and Forza Barca.
Yeah.